So today we are going to discuss about the part 2 of our discussion of chapter 7 of Canto 8. So this chapter is titled as Lord Shiva Saves the Universe by Drinking Poison. Yesterday we have seen few activities which happened, which resulted in poison emanating, and today we will see what are the effects of that. Before getting into our session, let us recite the Mangalacharna prayers. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Namasreshtham Manumapi Sachi Putramatra Swarupam Rupam tasyagrajumurupurim madurim goshtavatim Radha kundam girivaramaho radhika madhavasyam Prapto yasya pratita kripaya Sri Gurum tam natosmi Krishnadanyamajanatakshanamapi Swapnepi vishveshware Tasmin bhakti mahaitu kim vidadato Hritkayavad visada Srilan Sadguna Punja Keli Nilayan Premavataranaham Vande Bhagavatani Mamannulavam Mudnani Patyakshitau Ajanulambita Bhujau Kanakavadatou Sankirtanaika Pitarau Kamalayatakshaw Vishwambarau Dvijavarau Yugadharma Palau Vande Jagat Priyakarau Karunavatarau Jayatam Suratau Pangor Mama Mandamatirgati Matsarvasva Padambojau Radha Madana Mohanau नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः. In this chapter, we have seen the first two sections yesterday. So whenever the churning of milk ocean happened, Lord Vishnu took multiple roles. So as a part of that, we have seen first Lord is part of Ajita, or Lord is in the form of Ajita, and he was with demigods. And next he took the form of a tortoise and he supported the mountain from bottom. Later he became Sahasrabahu, the 1,000-handed form, and he supported from top of the mountain. And later Lord entered into demigods, demons and Vasuki as three modes. So Lord Vishnu took multiple roles in this Samudra Manthan. And when the churning of the milk ocean happened, the first product coming out of that is Hala Hala poison. So Lord has already given instruction earlier to demigods, like, you are going to get a fearful poison, don't fear. So the same poison was the first product emanating from the churning of milk ocean. Seeing that, all the demigods took shelter of Lord Shiva and they started praying to Lord Shiva. So today it will be like we are going to discuss the demigods offer prayers to Lord Shiva, and later Lord Shiva seeks Bhavani's permission, and later few verses which glorify Lord Shiva's personality. So before getting into this demigods prayers, so if we observe keenly, the prayers whatever demigods do will be almost similar to what the prayers were accredited to Lord Vishnu or Krishna in earlier chapters or in few of the earlier cantos. So first we need to understand the Shiva Tattva so that we can correlate. If not, if we directly go and try to understand these prayers, then we might get confused and perplexed. So first thing, let us see what exactly is the Lord Shiva's position, because he is a great Vaishnava. So that is what we know, Vaishnavanam Yada Shambho. So we will even see that particular reference today. So first thing, the Lord Shiva has three forms. So generally we all came to know in our subsequent sessions that Lord Vishnu, whenever he enters into material world, he has three forms: Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Karnodakshai Vishnu, Kshirodakshai Vishnu. So similarly, Lord Shiva has three forms. So these are not in that particular same order, but there are three forms. One is Sadasiva, who is eternal. So who is eternal and who is completely above this material cosmic manifestation. So whenever we have the spiritual planetary systems, which is Goloka and next Vaikuntha planets, and with the effulgence of this spiritual planets is called as Brahmajyoti. So whatever the self-effulgence of the spiritual planets comes is Brahmajyoti. So just above Brahmajyoti and below by Vaikuntha planets, we have an abode for Sadasiva, which is known as Kailasa. So that Kailasa is not our Kailasa, which is above the India. So that is a eternal Kailasa, which is the abode of Lord Shiva. And next, what we know is the Shiva Tattva or Shambhu. So this is expansion of the Sadasiva in Kailasa. And when during the creation of this material cosmic manifestation, Lord Mahavishnu glances upon Prakriti, Durga Devi, for the creation of the cosmic manifestation. So this glance of the Lord is considered as Shambhu. So we will see this in next 3 slides. And Rudra, so we all know that Rudra is also Lord Shiva. So Rudra is born out of anger of Brahma. So in next 3 slides, we'll just try to understand these 3 things. So as we can see, this is the complete, not a complete, it is just a snapshot of the complete Goloka chart. As we can see, this bubble, which is at this point, which says Karna Ocean, this is the material universe. And this white portion which we see is called as Brahmajyoti. So most of the people, they think that this Brahmajyoti is the final thing which one needs to assign. So if we see, if we consider an analogy of a tubelight, so we know that tubelight will emanate rays, but beyond that rays, there is a tubelight. Similarly, when we see sun, we can first see the sun rays, but there is a sun. Similarly, this Brahmajyoti, the light which is coming out of it, has that original source behind it, which is the spiritual planets. So as we can see here, there is the Kailasa, which is the abode of Lord Shiva. So this is an eternal, anything above Brahmajyoti is eternal. Lord Shiva always stay there in his Kailasa, and he is untouched by material existence. Now, in this material world, first Lord Vishnu, so he expands into Balram, and again he expands into numerous forms, and in the spiritual planetary system, and first he took form as Mahavishnu in material world. So as we can see here, Lord is glancing upon each of the universe. So there is a small race going towards each of the bubbles. So each of the bubble is a single universe, and Lord, whenever he is glancing, this particular glance is known as Shambhu Tattva. So the glance of the Lord is known as Shambhu. Based on this, whenever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, like, I am the seed giving father of everyone, aham bija prajapitaha. So it means Lord is having, or Lord is putting the seed into Prakriti in the form of Lord Shiva or Shambhu. So whenever we understood in this way, all the further activities which happen inside that universe is by the grace of Lord Shiva in union with Prakriti. So Mahavishnu just glances or he injects the Prakriti with the seed of Lord Shiva. That is why we call Mother Parvati and the husband of Parvati is Shiva. So he is the father and uh, Prakriti, Durga Devi is the mother. But the person who is emanating that is Mahavishnu. So if we don't understand this concept, then we'll be in a confusion, because we know that Mother Durga is Prakriti and Lord Vishnu. If he is putting the seed, then where exactly is Shiva, the husband of Durga Devi? So this is what the Shambhu Tattva is. And next coming up is the Rudra. When the Lord Brahma told all the sages or the great sages to create progeny in this world, then this 4 Kumaras have been created. But rather than getting married and creating more progeny, they thought we will stay in self-realization. So we will continue our bachelorhood. At that point, Lord Brahma became very angry. I have created you for the sake of progeny, but you, by the instructions of Narada, have become like this. With that, Lord became very angry. Lord Brahma became very angry, and from his eyebrows, Rudra come out, and that Rudra again becomes 11 Rudras. So this is one more expansion in this material world. So one is in the spiritual world, one is at the point of creation of the material world, and one is after the creation and expansion into the cosmic manifestation, or after the secondary creation. One is at the primary creation, one is at the secondary creation. So these are the 3 forms of Lord Shiva. So if we don't understand this, we will get confused with the prayers what demigods will pray today in the today's verses. So as we can see, all the happenings in this universe, the cause is Lord Shiva, but the cause of him is Mahavishnu. With that understanding, let us move forward. So there was a question like, why should demigods take the shelter of Lord Shiva? So as discussed, Lord Vishnu acts through Lord Shiva in the creation of material world. Lord Shiva acts on behalf of Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu is acting. So later Lord Shiva is taking care. And when Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, this is what we discussed, he is the father of all living entities. Aham Bija Prajapita. This refers to the action performed by Lord Vishnu through Lord Shiva. And the most distinctive thing is Lord Vishnu is never attached to material activities. He is always unattached to material activities. But at any point when material activity are to be performed, then Lord Vishnu performs them through Lord Shiva. So whenever this creation of cosmic manifestation is required, whenever there is a union with the Prakriti is required, Lord Vishnu performs them through Lord Shiva. And Lord Vishnu is always unattached to material activities. As there is a reference from Brahma Samhita which says, Kshiram yadadadi vikara visheksha yogad sanjayate nahitata pritagasti heto yashambhutam apitata sampaiti karyad govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So here with this verse in the Brahma Samhita, it gives the difference or exactly that thing where Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu delineates. As we saw in the last statement, when material activities are to be performed, Lord Vishnu performs them through Lord Shiva. So here we have an example which we can correlate. Just as milk is transformed into curd by the action of acids, but yet the effect of curd is neither same as nor different from. It is cause, the milk. So if we understand Lord Vishnu as milk and the action of acids as the material activities, then curd is Lord Shiva. So whenever the milk gets the material things or the action of acids, it turns into curd. Similarly, Lord Vishnu, whenever he wants to perform any material activities, he performs them through the Lord Shiva. So I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Shambhu is transformation for the performance of the work of destruction. So the specific work which Lord Govinda has given is the work of destruction. So this, if we understand this concept, we are good. Proceed with the prayers. So now the context is all the devatas are requesting Lord Shiva to help them to save them from the poison. Sri Prajapataya Uchuhu Devadeva Mahadeva Bhutanam Bhuta Bhavana Trahina Sharanapannam Strailokya Dahanad Vishat. The Prajapati said, O greatest of all the demigods, Mahadeva, the super soul of all living entities, the cause of their happiness, prosperity, we have come to shelter of your lotus feet. Now, please save us from this fiery position, which is spreading all over the poison, which is spreading all over the three worlds. So they are glorifying that you are the Mahadeva and you are the super soul of all living entities. Please save us from this fiery poison. Tvamekah sarva jagata ishvaro bandha mokshayah tvam archati kushalaha prapannartiharam gurum. Oh Lord, you are the cause of bondage and liberation of the entire universe, because you are its ruler. Those who are advanced in spiritual consciousness surrender unto you, and therefore you are the cause of mitigating their distress, and you are also the cause of their liberation. We therefore worship you, worship your lordship. So here it is said, he is the cause of bondage and liberation. Because we all are in this material world trying to find out for happiness, the cause for this material world is Lord Shiva in union with Mother Durga Devi. And so the liberation part. So the liberation, it is mentioned like 3 people can give the liberation. One is Lord Vishnu, and it is said Mukum Dadati iti Mukundaha. So the person who can liberate is Mukunda, and we all know who is Mukunda. And Lord Mukunda has given that permission to, or that authorization for Lord Shiva and Durga Devi in order that they can also give liberation on behalf of him. So that is why he is the cause of bondage and liberation. Gunamaya swasaktasya sargastityapyayan vibho datseyad swadrigbhuman brahma vishnu Shiva Vidan. O Lord, you are self-effulgent and supreme. You create this material world by your personal energy, and you assume the names of Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara when you act in creation, maintenance, and annihilation. So these 3 murtis are specific to one universe only. So in each of that bubble, whatever we saw the image, we will have these 3 murtis in each of the universe, and they will be doing their particular activities, what they are supposed to do. And and we need to understand that also that Lord Shiva is the pure Vishnu Tattva. So whenever the demigods pray to Lord, they might, so it might look sometimes like exaggeration, but it is not. They are praying Lord Shiva, considering that he is an expansion of Lord Vishnu. So we will even see few of the references going forward. Tvam Brahma Paramam Guhyam Sadasad Bhavanam Nana Shakti Virabhatas Tvamatma Jagadishvara. You are the cause of all causes, the self-effulgent, inconceivable, impersonal Brahman, which is originally Parabrahman. You manifest various potencies in this cosmic manifestation. So here it said, he is the cause of all causes and self-effulgent, impersonal Brahman. And he is manifesting various potencies. So this is also referred to the Vishnu Tattvas by the demigods. Tvam Shabdayoner Jagadadirātma Pranendriya Dravya Guna Svabhavaha Kala Kratus Satyam Ritam Cha Dharmas Tvaya Aksharam Yat Trivrid Atmananti. O Lord, you are the original source of Vedic literature. You are the original cause of material creation, the life force, the senses, the five elements, the three modes, the Mahatattva. Mahatattva means the nature which was unagitated. So before Lord has glanced upon the Prakriti, it is known as Pradhana. But whenever Lord Vishnu, Mahavishnu, has a glance on Prakriti, that Pradhana will turn into Mahatattva. So that is Mahatattva. You are eternal time, determination, and two religious systems called Truth, Satya, and Rita, truthfulness. You are the shelter of syllable Om, which consists of three letters Om. O Father of all planets, learned scholars know that fire is your mouth, the surface of globe is your lotus feet, eternal time is your moment, and all directions are your ears, and Varuna, the master of waters, is your tongue. So here we have few references which have been attributed to Vishnu by Brahma earlier. So Brahma said your feet is earth earlier, and same, the fire is mouth. And we will see few more which were exactly depicted by Brahma to Vishnu. Let us see. Oh Lord, the sky is your navel, the air is your breathing. So if you remember, we discussed that prana pana. The sun is your eyes, the water is your semen. This also we discussed. You are the shelter of all kinds of living entities, high and low. The god of moon is your mind, and the upper planetary system is your head. So in chapter 5, so currently we are in chapter 7, but in chapter 5, we have seen the same attributes referred to Lord Vishnu by Brahma. So as we can see, feet was denoted by earth, semen, water, mind, moon, mouth, fire, eye, sun, prana, air. All the same attributes are now being addressed towards Lord Shiva by demigods. So how to understand this? It is very simple. It is like whenever some person is glorifying you, then the truth will always be whatever you say rather than that person who is addressing you. So we will see few of the references which Lord Shiva himself spoke. Now, where exactly Lord Shiva spoke also matters, because we are in the context of Srimad Bhagavatam. We will see few of the verses by the same book and by the same author, so that first we will see from the Bhagavatam Purana, and later at the end of the session we will see from other Puranas. Because whenever we have this contradiction of verses or contradiction of the philosophy, first we need to refer Guru, Sadhu and Shastra. So all the Acharyas have clearly mentioned whatever we discussed, the Shambhu Tattva and Vishnu Tattva. But we will see the references from Srimad Bhagavatam on what Shiva spoke. So whatever the prayers we are saying, that are like demigods who are praying, but the actual reality will be what Lord Shiva speaks. So this is like Lord Shiva, he is speaking to Prachetas in the 4th canto. He says, a person who executes his occupational duty properly for 100 births becomes qualified to occupy the post of Brahma. So Shiva is giving statement like, who can become Brahma? So if we want to become Brahma, right, we need to perform our occupational duties, our Varnashrama Dharma properly, 100% purely for 100 births. So if you perform your occupational duty purely, you will again take birth as a human. So in the same way, you need to perform 100 births to become qualified to occupy the post of Brahma. That is how tough it is. So anyone can take the position of Brahma, anyone can take position of Shiva in this material world, but no one can take the position of Sadasiva in the eternal world. So here he says, and if he becomes more qualified, so after that 100 times of Brahma, if he is more qualified, that person, then Lord Shiva says he can approach Shiva. So he can become Lord Shiva. A person who is directly surrendered to Lord Krishna or Vishnu in unalloyed devotional service is immediately promoted to spiritual planets. So here Lord Shiva is saying, if you are performing very much properly your Varnashrama dharmas, you can become Brahma or you can become Shiva. But a person who is directly surrendered to Krishna or Vishnu, he will be directly promoted to spiritual planets. So here he is taking that clue of the spiritual planets are higher than whatever the posts which are being occupied here. So Lord Shiva and other demigods attain these planets after destruction of material world. So even whatever the person who is taking the post after the destruction of this material world, they also attain the same position. So here the differentiation of Brahma or surrender, becoming Brahma or becoming Shiva or going to the spiritual planets, that hierarchy is mentioned. In the consequent, the next verse, 30th, he says, you are all devotees of Lord. As such, I appreciate that you are respectful as the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. And the important thing, it comes now. I know in this way that devotees also respect me. So Lord Shiva says, the devotees respect me similar to Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So in the same manner, the demigods are praying to Shiva, like he is like the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, as they know that he is the expansion of Sadasiva, who is the expansion of Lord Krishna in the spiritual world. So here Lord Shiva is saying, I know in this way the devotees also respect me. How? As the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, and that I am dear to them. Thus no one can be as dear to the devotees as I am. So here he is saying, I am dear to them and they are very much dear to me. And in the same Srimad Bhagavatam, in 12th canto, it is said, Nimnaganam yata Ganga devanam achyuto yada Vaishnavanam yata Shambhu Puranam idam tatha. So it is said, whatever the Purana we are reading now is the greatest of all Puranas. So there might be many Puranas and there might be many different of opinions in different Puranas. But the person who wrote all the Puranas is Vyasadeva, and he has written Srimad Bhagavatam also. So that same compiler is saying Srimad Bhagavatam is the greatest of all Puranas. Puranam idam tatha. And what is he saying? He is saying Just as Ganga is the greatest of all rivers, Lord Achyuta is the supreme among all devas, deities. So Devanam Achyuto Yata. So Lord Achyuta is the supreme among all devatas, and Lord Shambhu is the greatest of all Vaishnavas. So here Vaishnavanam Yada Shambhu. So the name Shiva and Shambhu is used interchangeably. Similarly, the next verse, Kshetranam Chaiva Sarvesham Yata Kashi Hyanutama Tata Purana Vratanam Srimad Bhagavatam Dvijaha. So this verse also states that Srimad Bhagavatam is the supreme among all Puranas, as Kashi is unexcelled among holy places. So there are many references. These were only few, but there are many references where Lord Shiva has addressed Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna as his master. So whatever demigods are praying is one context, but more than that, the weight will be on what exactly Lord Shiva speaks. At the end of this session, we'll see from other Puranas also, so that we will not move out of context here. So we will proceed with the prayers. Kukshi samudra gireyosti sanga romani sarvaushadi virudhaste chendamsi sakshat tava sapta dhatavas trayi mayatman hridayam sarva dharmaha. O Lord, you are the three Vedas personified. The seven seas are your abdomen. The mountains are your bones. So in third canto, whenever the universal form was being explained, the same things are given there. The mountains are your bones. Seven seas are your abdomen. All the drugs, creepers and vegetables are the hairs on your body. The Vedic mantras like Gayatri are 7 layers on your body. And the Vedic religion system is the core of your heart. Shaya Tvadarmor Mishuyair Visargo Netra Trayam Satvarajastamamsi Sankyatmana Shastra Kritasta Veksha Chando Mayodevarishe Puranaha. O Lord, your shadow is seen in irreligion, which brings about varieties of irreligious creations. 3 modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are your 3 eyes. All the Vedic literature, which was full of verses, are emanations from you, because their compilers wrote various scriptures after receiving your glance. Nate Giritra Kila Lokapala Virincha Vaikunta Surendra Gamyam Jyoti Param Yatra Rajastamascha Sattvam Nayad Brahmani Rasta Bhedam. O Lord Girisha, since the impersonal Brahman effulgence is transcendental to the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So whatever the Brahmajyoti we saw earlier, it is above the material creation, this universe. So that is transcendent to the material modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. The various directors of this material world certainly cannot appreciate it or even know where it is. It is not even understandable to Brahma, Vishnu, or King of Heaven, Mahendra. So here, wherever they are referring Brahma, Vishnu, or Mahendra, they are specific to the universe, the 3 murtis. Kamadvara Tripura Kala Garadhyaneka Bhutadruha Kshapayata Stutayena Tatte Yastvanta Midamatma Kritam Svanetra Vahnispulinga Shikaya Bashitam Naveda Bhasitam Naveda. When annihilation is performed by the flames and sparks emanating from your eyes, so how destruction takes place? Thus flames and sparks emanate from Lord Shiva's eyes. The entire creation is burned to ashes. Nonetheless, you do not know how this happens. What then is to be said of your destroying the Daksha Yagna, Tripurasura and Kalakuta poison? Such activities cannot be subject matters for prayers to you. So here it is said, your flames, or whenever you have a glance at this universe with your fierce expression, the flames and sparks emanating will destroy the entire creation. What to speak of you destroying the Daksha Yagna. Yetvatmarama gurubir hridichin chintitangri dvandvam charantamumaya tapasabi taptam kattanta ugra parusham niratam smashane tenu namutim avidam stavahata lajjah. Exalted and self-satisfied persons who preach to the entire world think of your lotus feet constantly with their hearts. However, when persons do not know your austerity, see you moving with Uma, they misunderstand you to be lusty, or when they see you wandering in the crematorium, they mistakenly think you that you are ferocious and envious. Certainly, they are shameless. They cannot understand your activities. So the activities of Lord Shiva are very transcendental. But whenever one sees that, okay, this person stays in crematorium, then he might be ferocious or he would be very hard. But it is not like that. He is the greatest devotee. Tattasyate sadasato sat asato parata parasya Nanjaswarupagamane prabhavanti bhumnaha brahmadaya kimuta samstavane vayam tu tatsarga sarga vishaya apishakti matram. Even personalities like Lord Brahma and other demigods cannot understand your position because he is situated in the spiritual planetary system in the Kailasa. For you are beyond the moving and non-moving creation. So he is above this cosmic manifestation. No one can understand you in truth. How can one offer prayers? It is impossible as far as we are concerned, as we are creatures of Lord Brahma's creation. So they are saying we are part of the secondary creation, and how we can understand you who are beyond this universe. Under the circumstances, therefore, we cannot offer you adequate prayers, but as far as our ability allows, we have expressed our feelings. So they are saying that whatever we have with our knowledge, we have expressed our prayers, but in order to pray to you, we cannot, because you are beyond this cosmic manifestation. You are beyond this material cosmic manifestation, and you are above in the spiritual world. You are above this chara. You are beyond the moving and non-moving creation. Etat param prapsayamo naparam te maheshwara mridanaya hi lokasya vyaktiste vyakta karmanaha. O greatest of all rulers, your actual identity is impossible for us to understand. As far as we can see, your presence brings flourishing happiness to everyone. So Lord Shiva's presence brings flourishing happiness to everyone. Beyond this, no one can appreciate your activities. We can see this much and nothing more. So by this, they are concluding the prayers to Lord Shiva. Now, Lord Shiva, before taking any action, he takes the permission of Bhavani Devi. Sri Sukha Uvacha Tadviksha Vyasanam Tasam Kripaya Vrishapiditah Sarvabhuta Sihriddeva Idamaha Satim Priyam. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued, Lord Shiva is always benevolent towards all living entities. When he saw that living entities were very much disturbed by the poison which was spreading everywhere, he was very compassionate. Thus he spoke to his eternal consort Sati as follows. So when Lord Shiva saw demigods and all the other living entities who are in the problematic situation, he became very compassionate and he started speaking. Sri Shiva Uvacha Ahobata Bhavantyetat Prajanam Pasyavas Vaishasam Shiroda Matanodbhutat Kalakotadupasthitam. Lord Shiva said, my dear Bhavani, just see how all these living entities have been placed in danger because of the poison produced by the churning of milk ocean of milk. So he's setting the context to Parvati Devi. Asam prana paripsunam videyam abhayam hime etavan hi prabhur ardo yaddina paripalanam. It is my duty to give protection and safety to all living entities struggling for existence. Certainly, it is the duty of the master to protect his suffering dependents. So he is saying that I am the master of these people and I need to save when they are in problem. Pranaisvai pranina panti sadavakshana banguraihi baddhavaireshu bhuteshu mohiteshvatma mayaya. People in general, being bewildered by the illusory energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are always engaged in animosity towards one another. But devotees, even at the risk of their own temporary lives, try to save them. So here he's saying, devotees, even at the risk of their life, they try to save other people who are in the problematic situation. So he's requesting Mother Parvati to let him go and save them. Pumsah kripayato bhadre sarvatma priyate harihi prite haro bhagavati priye ham sacharacha tasmadidam garam bhunje prajanam swastirastu me. So here he says, who is again, he reminds of that Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari in this verse. My dear gentle wife Bhavani, when one performs benevolent activities for others, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari is very pleased. And when the Lord is pleased, I am also pleased, along with all other living creatures. Therefore, let me drink this poison for all the living entities and may thus become happy because of me. So here Lord Shiva himself is saying, if we help the other devotees, that Supreme Lord Hari will be pleased. And whenever Hari is pleased, I am also pleased, as well as along with all the other creatures. So whatever the demigods have prayed, that is as per their aspect. But now Lord Shiva himself is saying that Supreme Lord will be pleased whenever one helps other devotees. Sri Sukha Uvacha Evam Amantrya Bhagavan Bhavanim Vishwabhavanaha Tadvisham Jagdum Arebhe Prabhava Gnanvamodata. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued, after informing Bhavani in this way, Lord Shiva began to drink poison. And Bhavani, who knew perfectly well the capabilities of Lord Shiva, gave him her permission to do so. So, at this point, whenever Lord Shiva requested, Lord Bhavani or Mother Bhavani, she knows what is the capability of Lord Shiva, who he is. So the poison will not be able to do anything to Lord Shiva. In that sense, she said, it is fine. So Lord Shiva proceeded to the place of the churning of milk of ocean and he started to drink the poison. Tata karatali kritya vyapti hala halam visham habakshan mahadeva kripaya bhuta bhavanaha. Thereafter, Lord Shiva, who is dedicated to auspicious, benevolent work for humanity, compassionately took the whole quantity of poison in his palm and drank it. So, Lord Shiva at this point took all the poison into his hands and he drank it. तस्यापि दर्शयम् मासा सवीर्यं जलकल्मषः यच्चक्रगले नीलं तच्च सादोर्विभूषणम्. As if in defamation, the poison born from the ocean of milk manifested its potency by marking Lord Shiva's neck with a bluish line. That line, however, is now accepted as the ornament of the Lord. So we all know that Lord Shiva is also known as Neelakantha. So Lord Shiva's Kanta is in blue color, and that is now a widely accepted as the ornament of Lord. So whenever Lord has consumed this poison which arose from the ocean of milk, that made the neck of Lord Shiva in blue color. Tapyante lokatapena sadava prayaso janaha paramam aradhanam tadhi purushasya kilatmanaha. It is said that great personalities almost always accept voluntary suffering because of the suffering of the people in general. This is considered the highest method of worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramaradhanam, who is present in everyone's heart. So, the great personalities, they accept voluntary sufferings because of the sufferings of people in general. Nishamya karma tachrambor deva devasya midusha prajadakshayani brahma vaikuntascha shasham sire. Upon hearing of this act, everyone, including Bhavani, the daughter of Maharaj Daksha, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and people in general, very highly praised this deed performed by Lord Shiva, who is worshipped by the demigods and who bestows benediction upon the people. So, all the demigods and devatas, they have celebrated this event. They highly praise this activity of Lord Shiva. And praskannam pibate paner yatkinchit jagruho smatat vishrikahi vishaushadyo dandashukaschaye pare. Scorpions, cobras, poisonous drugs, and other animals whose bites are poisonous took the opportunity to drink whatever little poison had fallen and scattered from Lord Shiva's hand while he was drinking. So whenever Lord Shiva was drinking the poison, few droplets have fallen on the ground. So the scorpions, cobras, poisonous drugs, and other animals, they took this poison, and that is why they are all poisonous today. So here, due to the churning of milk ocean, the first product which was produced is the poison, and all the demigods requested Lord Shiva to help them. Lord Shiva requested Mother Parvati to grant permission, and later he went and drank the poison. With this chapter ends. But as I discussed earlier, we'll see from other Puranas also, because the first hierarchy is from the same Purana and from the person who is addressed. So the person addressed, even in the further verses in the same chapter, he said that Supreme Lord Hari will be pleased, and later I will be pleased. So there we had the reference. And in other Puranas, in the Skandas Purana, Lord Shiva tells Kartikeya that the statements of Shaiva scriptures should be accepted only when they agree with the Vaishnava scriptures. Lord Vishnu is the only Supreme Lord, and knowledge of him is the path to liberation. Paramo Vishnur Evaikas. That is the conclusion of all scriptures. Shastranam Nirnayatastha. Any other conclusions are meant only to bewilder people. So if someone is getting any other conclusion which says that Supreme or Shiva is the Supreme Lord and is above Vishnu, then here Lord Shiva himself is telling to Kartikeya that conclusions are meant only to bewilder people. In Skanda Purana, it is said, Bandako bhavo pashena bhava pasa mochakaha kaivalyadaya Parabrahma Vishnu Eva Sanatanaha. He binds the souls with the rope of birth and death. He unites the ropes of birth and death that bind the souls. The Supreme Brahman, eternal Lord Vishnu alone is the bestower of mukti. So here also Lord Shiva tells Vishnu alone is the bestower of mukti. So he, by his grace, he has given permission to Lord Shiva to award that liberation whoever reaches out to him properly. Okay, we have exceeded the time. We'll quickly see these two verses and close the session. In Narada Pancharatra, it is said, Vaishnavam cha siddhanam jnaninam yoginam Shivaha. Lord Shiva is the best of Vaishnavas, the best of yogi, best amongst the knower of absolute truth, and the best amongst all the siddhas. So he is addressed as Vaishnavanam, the same thing, Vaishnavanam Yadasambhu. He is the best of Vaishnavas. And in Narada Pancharatra, it is said, go and adopt Lord Shankara as your guru and obtain Hari Bhakti from him. By attaining Hari Bhakti, one will cross over this samsara. Guru is Parabrahma and he acts like helpsman to cross this ocean of samsara. So Lord Shiva is addressed, or he is to be understood as the first guru. He is the only person who can bestow us the mercy towards the Lord. So even in our recent past, we know that Lord Shiva has appeared as Shankaracharya, and Lord Shankaracharya has many teachings, but at the moment whenever he wanted to teach that important thing to his disciples, what exactly he said? He said, Bhajagovindam, 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 Mudamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Drikkin Karane. So he's saying that time is very, very nearing where you will be or you are going to die. So at least now chant the names of Hari. So that is what he said. And he is calling all the people as Moodas, fools. Oh fools, at least now you chant the glory of Hari. So there are many other references where Lord Shiva says that Lord Vishnu is the Supreme. So today we have discussed this pastime of the churning of milk ocean where Lord Shiva consumed the poison. So if anyone has any questions, we can take now.
Prabhuji, please show slide number 29.
I think 29 is missing, Prabhuji. You are correct. Yeah, so this was missing, Prabhu. Oh Lord, the 5 important Vedic mantras are represented by your 5 faces, from which the 38 most celebrated Vedic mantras have been generated. Your Lordship being celebrated at Lord Shiva is self-illuminated. You are directly situated as the supreme truth known as Paramatma. So this is also referring to the Vishnu Tattvas. So,
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you for your keen observation, Prabhu. So yeah, one verse was missing. You exactly found it. Okay, so from tomorrow onwards, Sushant Dwarkeshwar Prabhu will be taking the next session following this chapter. Thank you all for joining in. We will connect tomorrow morning, same time, to read Srimad Bhagavatam together. Hare Krishna.